welcome. This is Russ the Big Guy, and this is number 14, part 14, episode 14, video 14 on kicking the coronavirus's butt. And today we're talking about surviving the coronavirus. The reason I wanted to make this video, the reason I am making this video, is because I have seen a lot on social media about people's fear and anxiety during this time of isolation. People don't know when this is going to end, and there's a certain level of anxiety that seems to be building with some. I understand. I feel the anxiety sometimes myself, and I'm in a very good position relative to many people. Although my gigs have been canceled, many of them, and I'm not getting deposits on the gigs that I normally would at this time of year. It looks like even the speaking business is going to be shut down for a while. People are going online, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this for you today. We still have money coming into the house. My wife is still working. My daughter, who's a musician, an adult woman, is still living with us, and she is not. She's not earning any money either. Things have pretty much stopped for her. Her production clients aren't really coming into the studio anymore, and so it is tough. On the good side, we are safe, we're secure in our food so far. We are all healthy. None of our friends or immediate family members have succumbed to the coronavirus. So far, things are looking okay. So those are the good parts, right? That's what we can do, is we can look at the good things, the positive things, count our blessings, and be grateful for what we do have. But what I want to do is talk to you about a few things today, and I've got them on the whiteboard here. Surviving the coronavirus pandemic. So here are some things that I know will work well, and I hope that they work well for you. The first one is recognize your feelings and your emotions. So everyone is feeling some level of anxiety, and some people it gets into the level of being fearful. I want you to remember that fear is false expectations appearing real, F-E-A-R. And most of the time, a vast majority of the time, the awful things that we think are going to happen don't. Humans tend to build up in their mind, the worst possible things that could happen, and that's kind of a primitive way that our brain helps keep us safe. But we're more sophisticated humans now, so we want to understand that the feelings that we are experiencing are normal. Everybody is experiencing them to some degree or another, but it's how you handle them, and we can all override them with our intellect. So if you know some of the statistics, if you understand how viruses are transmitted, if you're doing the things that you know that you should be doing and continuing to educate yourself, you're keeping yourself safe and your family members and your loved ones safe, and you're doing what you have to do to get through this. Number two is be intentional. So be intentional. Intentional means done on purpose or deliberately. So this is what you can do. You can do things specifically to ensure your continued safety and your continued well-being. And number three is use the time proactively. And that's one way you could be intentional, is using your time that you have now, whatever time it is. Now, some of you are still working. Some of you are not. Some of us are doing what we can do, and maybe we're still working, but no money's coming in right now. But that's very intentional on our part, right? That's what I'm doing intentionally. And I've been through a lot in my life, and I have not been through a pandemic before, but I've had some other disasters, including I actually flew in a tornado and survived. When I was out of town, destroyed my vehicle and equipment, and I've had some other setbacks too in my life, but it's the survivors and the people that excel in the future are the ones that figure out how to deal with things as they come along. So that's what I'm trying to do, is be helpful for you. So use the time proactively, right? Taking action to control a situation rather than reacting to it. So there are certain things that we can't control. We We can control to a certain degree where that virus ends up as far as in our world. Ultimately, we don't have the final say on how that works out. We don't have the final say on when we're going to be able to get back to work or what everything is going to look like in the rest of the world, but we can decide how our world is going to look and what we think will benefit us and our families, right, to go forward and to benefit other people. So use the time proactively, and for some of us that means you might want to learn. Number 4, learn from it, right? Learn from this experience. You are stuck at home possibly. Well, what are you learning from that? Are you learning that maybe in the future you need to have multiple sources of income? Maybe you're learning that the employer that you're working for didn't really take care of you. Maybe you're learning they did. Maybe that employer did take care of you, and that's really where you belong. It's a clarification on maybe some of the past decisions that you've made. Maybe you realize that, oh, you should have had more toilet paper in stock, or maybe enough food for the week, or 2 weeks, or a month, or several months set aside. Money to pay for bills. Again, most of us live paycheck to paycheck, which is not great. Most of the people in the United States, as it turns out. Close to half, I guess, or maybe more, depending on which statistics you read. We don't have enough resources to last 30 days. So these are some things that we can learn from this. We can also learn how to be healthier, physically, emotionally, right, mentally, all those things. And then what can we learn because of it? Well, we have an opportunity to be able to make some changes. So this is a great time to re-examine our lives, see if what we have been doing with our life is really where our passions would direct us and really what our purpose in life might be. You've probably heard this before, purpose and passion. I think they're very important things to identify and to be able to base your life around. And I have some resources that I wanted to give you here. And you might want to get a couple of these books if you like to read. And one of the reasons I mentioned these, not only just for the amazing information that are in them, but also is how they're constructed, so they're pretty easy. So one of them, my favorite one of all time, is Think and Grow Rich. And this is by Napoleon Hill. Now, Think and Grow Rich has lessons for living and building a business in here that are just amazing. And you'll find that a lot of business gurus and life gurus, the advice that they offer actually probably originated out of this book, or at least is in parallel with this book. One of the nice things about this is that you can go through here one chapter at a time. You can jump around a little if you want, and you'll get some great tidbits out of it. You'll notice that I've read this whole book before I started going through it again, and that's as far as I've gotten right now. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is amazing. Anything the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's right from Napoleon Hill. And now, some of the writing in here is a little old-fashioned, and there are some anecdotes in here that maybe wouldn't pass the PC test today, but if you can look past that stuff, there's really solid information in there. There's another book I'd suggest, and this is Napoleon Hill, Truthful Living. This is by Jeffrey Gitomer, and this is based on Napoleon Hill's class seminars, I guess, when he was teaching. And so they are... Again, you can jump around if you want. There's different talks in here, and there's a lot of really good information. All right, The Habit of Completing. I don't know which you can see that I didn't do very well with. Here's Imagination. So there's lots of really cool things. Those two books are amazing. Now, there's another one. This is a small one too. And again, I like these because they're easy reads, or you can read part of them at a time. This is John Maxwell, How Successful People Think. And so you can go through here and you'll see a lot of really good ideas that are easy for you to pick up. Here's where I bookmarked one before. Ask why before how. You may have heard me talk about finding your why. And Simon Sinek talks about that a lot as well. If you know why you're doing things, if you can really identify what your passion and purpose is, then when trouble comes, and it won't likely come as often, you will have the fuel, the motivation, the internal motivation to be able to overcome these hurdles and these problems. And because of how you've based all of your thinking and your activities, you'll have the resources that you need to deal with things. And troubles and tribulations and hurdles that would stop most people. For someone who's really clued in to what their why is, it's just another day of living. It's not a big deal. Okay, Tribe of Mentors is another one. Timothy Ferriss. This is really cool. These are questions and interviews of, I don't even know how many, tons of very successful people. Some of them you'll know, some of them you won't know. Here's an interesting one. Larry King is in here. And one of Larry King's quotes, "You learn the secret of this business, which is there's no secret. Be yourself." So I believe he's talking about the entertainment business, but that applies to anything. One of the things that I found out, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, and I've learned a lot, and I've had to teach myself a lot, but in the beginning I was always looking for that silver bullet that would, skyrocket me to success. And what I found out is there's really not one silver bullet. There are lots of gold nuggets, if you will. So rather than a silver bullet, think of gold nuggets, and you can collect all these gold nuggets that resonate with you and that allow you to move forward. And different people say, like, move the needle forward, right, on your life or on your career. And so those are some easy reading, and this one is super easy. Now, this is a mock-up of my original book, The 10 Essential Superpowers. The updated version is available via PDF, which I'm going to give you for free in a second, and it's also available through one of my mastermind classes. But the 10 Essential Superpowers it's kind of a workbook style, and it will take you through finding your why. That's the very first thing in here. And then there are 10 superpowers after that you will learn. And with the activity sheets that come with it, you'll be able to integrate it into your person. You'll be able to really understand it, right? And then you'll be able to create some action items for that, which will help you put each one of those, or maybe just a few that resonate with you, put it into practice right away and benefit from it. And you can get that book quite easily. All you have to do is go to russthebigguy.com/contact. Now, all these other books that I mentioned, Napoleon Hill's books, How Successful People Think, and Tribe of Mentors, those are still available on Amazon, assuming they're shipping books. You might find them somewhere else, and there might be some used books somewhere that you could grab. The 10 Essential Superpowers you can get for free, however, from me, a gift from me. Just go to russthebigguy.com/contact, and there's a form there, and that form will ask you to put in your name and your email, and then in the comments section just say, yes, please send me the free book, or I want the free book, or something to that effect. When you submit that form, a brand new page will pop up, and on that page will be the PDF, so you can download the 10 Essential Superpowers right here, that workbook with all the activity pages in there, and there's some other little things in there as well, and all of those are free. Now, on that page you'll see some information about something else that I have, which is, where is it? The Entrepreneur's Masterclass right here, and that is a fee-based online webinar. And it has a book, The 10 Essential Superpowers that I just mentioned, a couple of videotape seminars. One is The 10 Essential Superpowers, where I really teach it, and the other one is a simple 4-step sales process. And it helps people sell. If you're a creative or an artist or someone who has a philosophy or something that you want to have other people sort of accept and come over to your way of thinking, if you're trying to find people for your tribe, then understanding how to share your passions is something that you'll learn through that seminar. There are also many whiteboard videos in there. Creative problem solving and understanding improv, how the basics of improv, how it fosters creativity and innovation and other communication skills. So there's a lot more in there for you, and that's just a very, very small fee. You'll see there's a link there. But for today, the main thing that I want you to understand is that we will survive this pandemic, right? That having feelings and emotions right now is very normal. And what we need to do is to be intentional on how we're acting and what we're doing, how we're spending our time. We're being proactive with our time, and we're doing what we can to learn from what's happening, and then to be able to take this time to learn and acquire the skills and knowledge that we need to move our lives forward. And it may be something as simple as, if you're home playing video games all day long and your goal is to be an esports person, then God bless you, right? That's awesome. For many other people, spending time on playing video games is going to be really a waste of their time, just a distraction. And they'll come out of this and find out that they have not moved the needle forward at all. And one of the things that I discovered is if you're not, life is very interesting and nature is very interesting. If you are not developing and growing, there is no such thing as coasting. So if you're not developing and growing, you're actually stagnating. And so what will happen is, if you are not doing anything to improve your life during this time, if you're not taking advantage of this time to do something special for yourself or for your family, then when this is all over, you'll find out that you will be in a lesser place than you were before it. And here's an interesting thing. Other people who have taken the opportunity to do something positive, to grow, to develop, to learn, to invest in themselves, right? And to invest in their own brand even, if you will, they're going to be way farther ahead when we come out of this than people who didn't do that work. So that's what I suggest for you, right? Take this time, see what you can learn from it, invest in yourself, know that we're going to get through it, be intentional, understand that you're a human, and a lot of the fear-based sort of things and anxiety is really just your body, the primitive brain, trying to protect you. But we've moved beyond that as a human race, right? We have the intellect where we can understand these sorts of things and then be proactive about how we want our lives to come out. Okay, I know that was a lot. You can rewind it and check it out. RussTheBigGuy.com/contact is a way for you to get a free book and also to stay in touch with me. You can also send me an email anytime, russ@russthebigguy.com. Please, if you have any questions at all or concerns, if you're a business person or if you just want to try to get another person's thoughts about how you should move the needle forward for your own life, just give me a shout or send me an email. You might reference this video in your subject matter so that I know it will get to me, especially if I don't have your email already. And I'm also on social media, Russ the Big Guy on Facebook and Russ the Big Guy on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram and I'm also on TikTok. So Russ the Big Guy. And this has been episode 14. I hope that everybody can really survive this in a healthy way and come out better for it at the end. So please, go boldly, keep at it, and wash your hands.